Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're going to be continuing our Fully Coolly journey here with episode 5 with the potential for episode 6 if I feel the need to do so. So again, I said last week we'd do 2. I've been very bad about this, continuing to say that we would do 2 and then things getting in the way. Things got in the way. We'll see. We'll see. It's all predicated on episode 5, basically. If episode 5 is like not a lot of stuff and is obviously leading on to a two-parter, then potentially we just, bite the bullet and watch the next one straight away. If not, we may just leave it at episode 5. I'm going to leave it up to my discretion, I guess. Because again, same old stuff. Why should I try to rush through the show when... Well, I like the show. I like it quite a bit, and the videos are definitely long enough. So, there's stuff to talk about. There's no reason why it shouldn't be one episode a week. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where I am. I don't know who I'm talking to. But I've got the YouTube comments up here ready to go, of course. I guess I should say YouTube comment from Lazy Joe. Last week's episode was a blast. In retrospect, it was so much fun. And yeah, definitely that unconventional style kind of through the first portion, or through the first watch through, I guess I should say. The first time I watched that episode, I was quite confused. But again, going back through it, taking some notes, figuring out what's going on, I found it very rewarding. So hopefully we can get some similar episodes upcoming here as well. Great analysis for a potentially confusing episode on first watch. Thank you. I thought I did pretty good there in the end and kind of got to the kind of meat of what the episode was trying to get at, I guess. The baseball team is the Mabase Martians, and the grandpa compares its power to the eruptions of Mount Olympus. That not being, the Mount Olympus of legends, but Olympus Mons from Mars. Because apparently this show takes place on Mars and not Earth? What? What do you mean? Sure, and again, this has no bearing on anything else that happens. I guess the vague space theme we have going on, especially with the character of Haruko. But other than that, I see no bearing on this on anything. I don't know what's going on there at all. Strange. But sure, Mars, why not? Now, this is something I should have gotten last week as well. So we have a name for Mr. Evangelion, which I've been calling him. Commander Amarao? Sure, we'll go with that. His eyebrows, they're nori, they're seaweed, and that's the texture on them. So I said like a galaxy last week, which I was trying to be all poignant and stuff, but no, it was way more stupid. It's just a bit of seaweed. It's like really stupid. But that's quite funny. Yeah, you can kind of see the edge of it, and when it falls off and that kind of thing, it's kind of got that kind of brittle texture to it. Makes a lot of sense to me now in retrospect. And yeah, that's kind of the YouTube comments for this week. Let's get up those patrons and we'll do that shout out now. As I said before, this has the potential to be the last episode, so potentially there's no point to the Patreon. But if episode 6 is up there when this goes public, that's where it'll be. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but $6 a week, $6 a month, and you can get those episodes 1 week early, of course. Many people have done this, up to and including Mickey Babbers, Trials++, Anders Harlan, Bobbin, Chobo Ribby, Domobot, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Fleur Nightingale, Fried Rice, Fruit, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Gus N, Heath, Hex, Ika, Yaku Yavanen, Joran, Kelvin, Kimskell, Clem, Nosta, Kot Begemot, Lou, Mish, Mistake El Chen, Nailu, Parnik, Pencil Sharp 333, Ronlad BNK, Saint Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Voiko, Without a Net, Zan Echo, Zach, Binchy, Hans Peter, Marsh, Voodoo Chili, Aiden O'Brien, and Yuno Meme. Thank you to all those people for giving me money, of course. As always with Fully Coolly, it's not really a show where you summarize last week's to go into the next one. I guess I would just say continuing this vague theme of growing up and so forth. I will mention as well, I got some nice public comments when episode 3, the Ninamori episode, went public, of a pretty obvious thing that I missed. It's how the show's mainly been about Naota and male puberty, and a whole lot of stuff to do with that I've been talking about since the first episode. Well, the Nina Mori one's about female puberty. Like, she wears a lot of red, specifically red bloomers, and she has like abdominal pain. Again, I don't need to put the pieces together for you, kind of see what's going on there. Pretty obvious one in retrospect, I would say. You can tie that into the theming if you wish, I would say. And yeah, from there, I don't know what we're doing. I guess we have to tie some loops eventually about Haruko and what she even is, where she's from, what she's doing. There was a mention last week of, it was like a weird name or something. It was mentioned by Mr. Evangelion, Commander Amaral. So he mentioned some weird stuff that I question marked. So we'll see what's going on there. Again, just this general space, further stuff. Obviously, something government's working with medical mechana or whatever it was called. We'll say Haruko wants them fucking dead. We'll say there's some grand conflict there between the robots and the other robots and the medical and the aliens and the something's happening. Events will occur. So yeah, we're gonna check that out now. We're gonna get up episode 5 and see what we think. As always, Discord if you want to talk to me about the show, as well as liking and subscribing would help me greatly. Now let's jump into episode 5. Let's do that. Radio, episode 5, up there, ready to go, of course. 23 minutes and 35 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy here, of course. I'm using the Boars release, so if you wanted to get that one, you can to follow along. If not, I have a picture-in-picture version in the description below, ready for you to click on it, if you want to, I guess. Anyway, we're going to give it a 3, 2, 1, and jump right in. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. And straight in, as always. Oh yeah, the episode's called, like, Brittle Bullet or something. So what we'll say. Sweaty boy. Gun? What are we doing? I love their posing already. Nah, she's gonna go in guns blazing. Huh. That's fantastic. Ah! What the fuck? What the fuck? I feel like he likes it. Stop talking in codes. Stop. Is this a bad time to mention that I haven't seen Castle of Cagliostro? Because I haven't. Arse. True. So this is some of the stuff she was saying before to the cat as well. Yeah, but you know he was hearing. What? Why are you the way you are? Why is everyone getting shot this episode? Well, he needs to use his guitar. I guess that's another setup from last episode, right? Yeah, your guitar, right? Well, that one's pretty specific. You're strange. I feel like I've seen this face before. Yeah, the horn. Oh, I see. I don't know what the hell's going on with her crutch either, I'm gonna be completely honest. Something about John Woo as well. This shit's fucking strange. Well, again, it's not exactly unexpected. Okay, now this is where we are. Some people are really into that whole snake thing as well. Um. Uh. I don't think I'm gonna be rooting for the father. Yeah, great point actually. What does my Mimi think about all of this? Wait, are you the girl from Evangelion? Why does it look like South Park? Oh, distraction. Holy fuck. Vietnam War headers. They do look really dumb. You look really cool though. Oh, that's great too. Stop. Fantastic. See, even a child could have told you that. Thanks for telling me. TV boy. He's gonna be isekai? Holy fuck, the camera. I don't see how that's very fair, but sure. Oh, you guys are all here. Oh, trying to be cool. Oh, part-time job. Good point. Yeah, should be driving. The animation this episode, man. Kanti died on the way back home to his home planet. What? That's not a rumor, that's the truth. That's not a, you guys saw that as well. Whoa, CG gun. But you kind of like it. Oh my Jesus. Veiny. Oh, lemonade gun. Yeah. 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 Awkward. Funny. Is this our mid card? Yeah. Okay. No. I see what you're saying. You're talking in code. What do you mean worried? Okay, sounds like backpedaling. Just hanging out. Okay, so this is continuing from last episode as well. Gun? Yeah, right. Strange. Terrifying. Oh, yeah. uh, what color? The weird combination of stuff there, actually. The South Park again. He may be getting a bit of a big head, if you know what I mean. I don't think he means you any harm. The combination of the things in these scenes is very interesting. Not quite sure what to make of it. Me too, man. Ooh. When that thing, it turns red, it's a Tomsk. Okay, shoot him with your guitar gun. Fucking awesome. This is pretty sick too. She'll still get out. It's Haruko. She's just better. Okay, where'd that insurance go? Yeah, you reckon? Hmm. Also, holy fuck, the animation. Bro doesn't get it. Also, you see the back of his head? As always, it's complicated. There we go. Holy fuck. Oh shit. It's Godzilla. Oh, ego it. Again, this whole alien vibe, right? Also, she's a magician. Strange. Intergalactic penis robots? I think so. Oh, it's cool. Yo. Yeah, this is some Evangelion type shit. What's the symbol on top there, too? Oh, the song. Why the costume? Interesting. Oh, Jojo. Alright, this is just fucking sick. Like, divorced from all the metaphors and everything, this is just fucking awesome. They are animating the fuck out of it. Fantastic. Almost Bugs Bunny. With the bunny girl costume, of course, as well. He's red. A lot of color stuff this episode. Also, this song's fucking awesome. Alright, murder. Oh, we're here. Big gun. Yeah, the colors again, right? Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah. Red guy's doing red beam? Oh! Holy fuck. Yeah. Discarding Haruko, it's time to do the business. Yeah, cool. Obviously, the progression from last episode to this as well. Okay. He's the one. What? He's the Pirate Lord? One Piece? The One Piece is real. We finally made it. Alright, and that's obviously the lead into the finale type stuff, right? Yeah. True. That was fucking awesome. Yeah, not so awesome, that guy. Oh, bro is. Oh, he got discarded? Yeah. Interesting. Almost like the baseball stuff with the glove, too. Yeah, obviously. Okay. Well, that calls into question Haruko and what she was doing this entire time, right? Seems like she's in love with the Pirate King, Atomsk. Atomsk? I don't know. Who again is it's going to fuel into a bunch of stuff because Kanthi himself has been largely associated with Naota's brother. Sure. Even some bit of name symmetry there between Tusku and Atomsk, right? Quite similar there. Maybe even is it an anagram? Almost. Not an anagram. Yes, an anagram. Anyway, that was it was just mostly sick. I want to look at the colors in the episode. I think that's where most of the stuff will be here. And I'm still umming and ahhing about watching another one. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll finish off the analysis here for this one right here right now, and then maybe return tomorrow, and then either say, "Hey, here's another episode," or say, "Hey, no." One of the two. I don't know. What else can I even say? Obviously, the Mamimi stuff is very interesting as well. Almost like Naota taking these steps towards. So the power dynamic there between the two has been obviously a little bit one-sided based on age, but now it's kind of shifting again, and it feels like really weird for Mamimi. But also, she's being kind of toxic in that way as well. Like, I don't want you to change. I want you to stay the same 12-year-old boy forever. That's not good either. Obviously, there's a mid ground here where everyone can try to do something a little bit more healthy, but again, based on this Haruko thing, it's like, I don't know, it's like she's broken his heart, so to say. So we'll see that where that leaves the whole Mamimi Naota situation as well. Yeah, cool. Next. Don't have much to say, you say. Great. All right, and this is all just footage from previous episodes. Gotcha. Sure, fully climax. It's like fully climax, fully climax, something like that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, as I said, we'll go through and do some analysis on this episode here, and then yeah, see if we want to do 6 in the same video as well tomorrow. So yeah, I'll return shortly and we'll do some analysis. All right, I think the thing that we should do first is just get a baseline out of what the episode is even trying to like say and like what happens in it. I guess. Let's try to get a baseline out there. Because again, much like many other episodes of Fully Coolly, probably not as bad as last episode, but still pretty bad. It's just kind of confusing. But again, like not in a bad way, in a way that's quite interesting to me, but it just doesn't logically follow one thing to another. The lack of establishing shots and that kind of thing just kind of throws you for a loop early. So again, just kind of saying what's happening here before going back through it again will give us a nice platform off of to analyze harder, I guess. Cool, so what's happening with Naota's head? I failed to mention this before, but we're sending stuff from outer space to Naota's head using the NO channel. I believe that's how it works, right? An NO channel, no channel, is it similar to denying yourself something is like a so I'm trying to see, like, we're associating a lot of this with him growing up, right? There's pretty obviously phallic objects coming out of his head, right? And it's this kind of lack of acceptance that you're going to grow up and that kind of thing. And that kind of adding to the, like, denying, right? No channel, obviously denying, right? So these are the things that appear in the young man's head when he's denying himself of blank, of whatever it is for the specific episode, whether that be through wanting to hold on to your youth, embarrassment, anything else in between. There's lots of reasons for that to be happening, right? Now let's talk about Haruko's motivations. She seems to want Atomsk, that kind of guy, right? That seems to be part of the plan. She's now infatuated with him. Was this part of the plan the entire time? Is that why Naota has been kind of chosen here in a way? Is that the reason why she's been pursuing him so greatly? She thinks that he's the best chance to get to this guy again, the Pirate King or whatever his name is. To the point where, again, I'll just skip to the end of the episode here, where she's like standing on top of him to look at Kanti, right? Who is now Atomisk, based on the coloring, right? So that calls into question what you've been doing the entire time, that being Haruko, right? Again, was all of this a lie? Was she just stringing me along? Was she using her feminine charms to string young Naota along? Is Mamimi feeling some kind of justification in her feelings now somewhat, that she's using you and this kind of stuff? But again, you're also using him in a way, so that's interesting as well, obviously. So again, I'm kind of skipping to the end here. So a lot of what I think Haruko's plan is pitting Naota and Kamon against each other, right? To bring out stuff in Naota. Similar to last episode, a lot of Haruko's planning there. Why is she even playing for the other team from the other town? Like, there's no other reason why she would be playing if not to goad Naota into doing something, right? So it was her plan the entire time for this to eventuate. This is what she's been scheming in the background, using Naota and his family to do so, right? That would make sense to me. We see it in this episode, a very explicit sexual focus as well, fighting over Haruko and that kind of stuff, again, propelling this fight and so forth. Kanti being involved in said fight, Kanti being the target of an assassination attempt, I think, at the hands of Commander Amorau and his gang. Like, they want to prevent this happening, but then at the very end here, they're like, nah, he's fucking awesome. So I don't know if they switched up the tech or whatever. I don't know what they think about him. They seem to think he's cool now. They want to protect medical Mechana place where these robots want to go and destroy it. Odd. It's giving me Evangelion vibes, just these kind of like giant random monstrosities mindlessly making their way towards base for reasons that you find out later in the show. And again, we're currently at that point where we don't know. We currently don't know what's the point of all this and what's going on and so forth, right? Now, again, back on target, what does Naota do through the episode? He kind of keeps loading up this kind of revolver in his head. That's the kind of guy here that grows out. And the revolver seems to be predicated mostly around him gaining confidence and ego, right? So all of his friends will say how cool it is that he piloted the mech and all these other things. There's been how cool it was that you saved the town. There's all these kind of rumors swirling about Naota, right? He gets a bit of an ego from that. He then gets a bit of an ego from Mamimi and her particular situation as it pertains to Naota. Like, I've got this, like, I'm the savior of the town and I've got this, hot older girlfriend and that kind of thing. And also Haruko wants me, and also Ninamori wants me. And again, he's ego tripping, right? And that's the build up here. Again, Haruko is probably reading into Mamimi a lot as well, knowing how she'll respond to certain things and then playing off of that to continue to fuel Naota, to continue to fuel this, to continue to fuel Atomsk when he shows up as well. Yeah, lots of stuff going on there for sure. Again, I feel like we've just seen, this is the end, right? This is like Haruko's plan coming to the nth degree. We've got this Pirate King, we call him, which is strange. Space pirates, I guess. And again, it's no coincidence that it's the form of Kanti-sama, the form of this savior for a lot of people, the form that has been largely associated with Naota's brother as well. Takasu, what was his name? Tusku? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's no accident, right? So again, Naota, in fighting this guy and that kind of stuff, it's going to wrap up all these themes in the show into one thing when we're fighting against this guy. Maybe. We'll see. He's got a guitar as well. I had a guitar. We're probably going to have like a rock music fucking showdown or something to that effect. Obviously, there's the ties between the baseball bat, the guitar, the gun, all this stuff this episode as well, the penis. So again, this is just a baseline of certain things to watch as we make our way through the episode once again. That, and I'm pretty sure that a ton of this episode had like giga anime references. There's a ton of Lupin the Third in there. Not something I'm personally familiar with, but sure. Sure, I guess. I see what they're doing, I guess, I think. I don't know what the whole Nazi armband is around. Why does he have a swastika on his arm? Is he that way inclined? It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me, chat room. That's a no-go. We don't like that. One connection I'm seeing very early here. These two are working in tandem. Kind of airsoft guns, I think I'm getting the vibe. Paintball, something to that effect. And they're in tandem. They're working together, right? Contrast that with the very end of the episode, and we can see where the true allegiances lie. We're on the same level here, where she's like literally putting her fucking high heels into my back later in the episode, Like, there's a difference there. It almost seems like a lot of this is performative now. There's also a great opportunity to shout out the character posing and kind of the cartoony style of the episode overall. Definitely the most, I guess, Gainax-y in that regard that I've seen. It definitely reminded me a lot of Penny and Stocking and the kind of really exaggerated, overactive, lack of kind of detail character designs that we get through this kind of section. It's a really weird vibe for this fight overall as well. Naota is working with Haruko, even though she's the prize that they're fighting. She's essentially the damsel that they're dueling over. That doesn't make any sense that you're picking a side already. That's odd. And then she remembers, oh shit, I probably shouldn't be doing this. But again, like, in the back of your mind, you know that this is all part of the plan as well, Also, weirdly, fucking Kanti is working with Kamon, which is strange. I don't know why. Again, we're playing weird with the timing this episode as well. We kind of cut from this here where she kicks us out into the battle into watching a movie on the TV. It's very, very much implied that this movie is like a John Woo movie or something to that effect. Just absolute crazy action and doves fly out of the screen when it explodes here in a moment. I just think that's kind of neat. I think that's cool. Obviously tying in the kind of gun battle, gunfight thing that we have going on as well, just in general with the rest of the episode. The other one would be, okay, we're starting the episode very passively watching a action hero on TV, right? Like maybe Naota's seeing this guy and it's like, oh yeah, that's something to aspire to be, something like that, right? Some kind of hero, gets all the girls in the end, is the peak of masculinity and all these other things, right? And in the end, he isn't the hero. In the end, he's on the billboard for the same film. He falls out of the gun barrel. He was only ammunition in somebody else's fight, I would say. He feels like he is the action hero, right? But in reality, that's just a costume that he puts on. And once that costume is shed, he's left in the lurch a little bit. I think that's quite clever as well, kind of taking this kind of cinematic turn to all of this. Specifically, the film here calling out a brother dying as well. A brother dying in Kanti-sama, who has been taken over by Atomsk, or whatever the hell happens when he turns red, I don't know. Very quickly here, a bunch of fucking bullshit happens. Kamon and Haruko were like doing it or something, and here's the aforementioned doves flying out of the screen in a massive explosion. I don't know what the boxing glove on the spring out of the crutch is, but also they were on the bunk bed. They were doing it on Naota's bed. What the fuck? Bro, you're strange. Okay. We have this line here, you're 100,000 years underdeveloped perverted monkey, which is also something that you say in a way more aggressive tone towards Commander Amaral later in the episode. Kind of a fun subversion there of that. Starting here very early with the gun theme as well. If you're underdeveloped, small dick, I'm grabbing the gun, I'm shooting it at you, that kind of vibe. We do the same thing with Commander Amaral later on. You're kind of this force of nature working your way through these middle-aged men that aren't up to your standards per se, especially against the robot. Nobody can compete with the robot. Everybody knows that. Either way, he's kind of like a masochist because he likes getting shot in the ass. So again, different strokes for different folks, I guess, but this prompts Naota to go up to the room and check on Haruko, I guess. So from like the Castle of Cagliostro reference here to the red jacket versus green jacket to the costuming later on with the pistol, I think all of that is Lupin. Again, not personally familiar. Again, I know this film is very good. People talk about it all the time. Miyazaki, of course, directing. Maybe I should chuck it on a poll. Let me know if I should chuck Castle of Cagliostro on a poll, just randomly. I don't know. I've never seen any Lupin the Third. I don't know what to tell you there. Monkey Sensei? Is that another... Okay, that's a Lupin thing, I guess. Either way, Naota's sick of learning about Lupin the Third and goes up to confront Haruko, where she is very scantily clad and she's talking esoteric plot stuff to the cat again, like she has been doing, bouncing ideas off of Miu Miu, the cat. What? You think I have feelings for him? That's not it. It's not like that's why my assignment is delayed. The Channel 2 NO is still open. And it's not about liking or disliking. You're kind of blushing as well. You're clearly talking about the Pirate King guy, I think. And you think that you're talking about Naota. This maybe adds to the whole ego trip element to the episode. Again, I think Haruko here is specifically leaving out details to leave Naota in the lurch and think that he's got a hot old girlfriend. I think that's what's happening, I think. And again, scantily clad, he's all blushy. Even the cat here looks conniving. Oh my god, what is he thinking? Does he know? We don't know. Either way, that whole conversation there prompts Naota to ask if Haruko likes someone, and she instantly deflects by talking about rock music. Do you guys find this hard to understand? Is he looking at us? Is he looking at the audience? Do you guys think this is weird, chat? Is that what he's saying right here? That's kind of funny. Anyway, we're quickly associating the guitars here with guns again, because we switch very quickly from the guitar to the gun. So that's obviously a connection in the episode. There are all these kind of vaguely phallic, masculine identifying kind of things. Baseball bat, guitar, gun, that kind of thing. Kind of associating a lot of them with different characters within your life and so forth. Yeah, very, very interesting. Ultimately, the guitar came out of your head, though, right? Or you kind of manifested the guitar last episode? Honestly, I forget, but something happened. I'd imagine that a lot of these are Japanese bands. If I had the dub on hand, I would imagine that they reference a bunch of Western bands instead, maybe? 90s bands, potentially? 2000. The year 2000. Bands in the year 2000. Weird one. I don't know who they would even say. Because it's kind of between movements. 2000's very associated with pop, mostly. Kind of have your 90s rock still kind of going along, I guess, but it's too early for nu metal and all that kind of stuff as well. Interesting spot to be talking about bands, I would say. A few more references here as well. You have to stand up with your guitar, that kind of thing. Both Jimi Hendrix and I'm guessing Paul McCartney both started like this, by moving their hand around like that, very rock rocker-like, sure. And then, yeah, that kind of turns her into like a fucking helicopter. She's swinging the guitar around so much that then she like pounces on him. And again, I don't need to explain what's on screen right now. You kind of get the vibe. It's no surprise that something very phallic grows out of your head. Takun, use your guitar again. Both of these on screen. The guitar is more centered now as opposed to the baseball bat, which is now on the ground, just kind of tossed aside. The guitar is the way more relevant thing to him at the moment, kind of music and so forth. That influence of Haruko away from the baseball bat towards the guitar, I would say here as well. Also the very obvious bang. That's what I want you to do with your guitar. But again, I want you to do that like last time. Like last time where he swung his guitar and hit the kind of satellite back into space and that kind of thing. I want you to do something similar to that again. Is that ultimately the next step in this whole Atomsk plan? Also, yeah, again, the kind of gun barrel grows out of the back of his head like that. Again, looking very hairy there as well. Not the first, like, very vaguely uncomfortable penis-y thing that we have this episode. Again, growing up out of the back of his head to make him kiss her. It's not exactly rocket science. This feels like a reference. I feel like I've seen this specific color scheme before. Something with a band? I don't know, man. It kind of looks like that stupid face on that album that people used to post about on a certain website that I no longer visit. Maybe. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's probably something else there. Either way, this predicates the plot. Kamon is now jealous and he wants to fight and duel for Haruko's hand or whatever. We're doing a lot of stuff with primary colors as well. We saw the swapping between the colors here on the faces, up to including a purple there as well. Lots of reds, lots of blues, lots of yellows. You wearing your red jacket as well. The color change between Kanti and Atomsk, right? The kind of red guy coming out a little bit later on. Again, red, normally associated with passion, can be drawn into envy, and among a number of things. Your face changing multicolored. You have this swirl of emotions in kind of being cucked by your own son. I don't know, but she's like playing you all for fools anyway. It's a weird vibe. Yeah, I like the color change there. I thought that was neat. Then, yeah, from there, he pulls out his small pistol and shoots Naota in the head there briefly. Again, leading us into the very start of the episode where we're in that gun battle. Another clue very early here in said gun battle is kind of Haruko doing this whole snake maneuver here. Again, snakes largely being associated with temptation and that kind of thing biblically. So, again, like swirling around him, constricting him, almost forcing him into a certain thing. Again, but he loves it, that kind of vibe. Temptation, that's what we're getting at here, right? Your bad news. Also, the red coloration for the snake as well. You can add that onto the whole passion, blood-rushing type motif to it all as well. I think the less said about this, the better, so we're not going to talk about it. Instead, we're going to talk about his very long gun here as well. Very cool. And Kanti kind of helping along in that regard as well. I've always been watching Mamimi as well, so she's kind of been left in the lurch here. Very purposefully last episode, she kind of wasn't included very much as well in the whole baseball shenanigan. She's very much off to the side, only a shoulder that Naota cries on when he needs to, where Haruko is mostly where the plot is located, I would say. Again, we talked about her reaction last week as well, seeing Naota do these amazing things, him like kind of growing up away from her in a way as well. What does growing up away from her mean? Growing up away towards Haruko, bringing up this beef, bringing up this kind of faux love triangle, fake love triangle thing we have going on as well. I don't know who this character is, but she's just fucking cool. Again, this is like the vice commander to Amuro. I love her design this episode. She's obviously infatuated with Kanti and that kind of thing as well, based off their brief kind of scenes of this episode too. I think her design's just really neat. Obviously got the fucking Gynax glasses going on too. Very, very cool stuff. And that's what all this talk about, kind of red and blue and that kind of thing. They're talking about Kanti-sama. Are you sure it's not red? So you're allowed to shoot it if it's blue, but if it's red, don't shoot it. Okay, weird advice. Do you guys want the Pirate King as well? I thought that was something you didn't want. But at the very end of the episode, you're like, oh, he's here. Already got the goods on Medical Mechanica. We'll take care of it so that they can't interfere. And then we cut the South Park reference. What? I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know what Medical Mechanica is. There's a mosquito in my room? What the fuck? Yeah. But again, it's purposefully obscure. I don't feel like I'm missing anything, I guess. Again, the joke of the scene is kind of transitioning away from this, like, really cool almost graphic novel type style towards the again, on purpose, cheap looking South Park style, between kind of like discussing his haircut with his hairdresser and literally talking about like high level intergalactic espionage. I don't know. It's, yeah. Again, Medical Mechanica, it seems like they're the bad guys too. Everybody hates Medical Mechanica. Haruko is just kind of here as like a third party. But then why are we trying to stop the robots? Are the robots trying to... Okay, a big robot later on, is he trying to, like, destroy Medical Mechanica to, like, free whatever inside or whatever? Is that... Are they working with Medical Mechanica? Are they working with Mechanical... Blah, 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 blah. Is it in Medical Mechanica's best interests to be destroyed? I guess what I'm asking. I don't know, it's odd. It seems like everybody's at odds with each other for, like, no reason. Either way, animation goes crazy through this segment. If you want somebody to do the detailed animation breakdown on Fully Cooley, I'm not your guy. I just think it looks really cool. That's all I'm going to say about it. I like these like Viet Cong-esque traps that we have going on, that the father somehow set up. Very cool. The sniper on the ridge over there, that lady, she says that what they're doing looks really dumb. I tend to agree. I like this kind of extended pun part where it's like Sabage, which I'm imagining is something to the effect of maybe Survivor game? Something like that. So this is a survival game. Why did you bring a guitar? Then... okay, like, we then make a bunch of puns based off of that. Asage, Hiruge, Yoruge. Ending here with a trouble ge, which... just fantastic. I just think that's very funny. Continuing here with the Japanese puns, we have this whole fish and blue situation. I believe we get corrected here by Mamimi. Yeah, actually writing fish with blue is a common mistake. We also see here that the bullet got kind of reflected here by Haruko in a very cool looking frame. So she knows what's going on and she protected Kanti from getting fucking shot in the head. Again, the correct way to write mackerel is right here, everybody. Clearly it doesn't have blue in it or whatever you said. Either way, both Kamon and Sniper Lady fucking flow down the river. They have their own little story going on as well. And we kind of leave Naota here to be fighting against Kanti-sama, right? This will kind of mirror the end of the episode where there's this rivalry then between Atomsk and Naota as well. Very obviously as well bringing up this kind of this stuff between Naota and his brother as well, which comes up through Mamimi. Mamimi, of course, calling out for Tasuku Senpai, I think, instead of Naota, which again makes him feel certain things. We'll get into it. Either way, Naota gets fucking ran over by his schoolmates, which are illegally doing a part-time job, which is weird. Yeah, these 12-year-olds are the oldest 12-year-olds I've ever seen in my entire life as well. I don't know what's going on there. Again, largely in a show associated with kind of growing up and growing up too fast and wanting to look adult and that kind of thing. This is a... Did you guys get this as well? So when you guys were in school, if you heard like one of your classmates got like a part-time job, you thought they were like way more adult and cool sounding? Is this kind of what's being got at here as well? Like almost like this ego trip between the other 12-year-olds with each other based on how adult they can seem to each other as well. But again, you feeding off of that ego and the gun building, adding to your kind of complex this episode as well. I think that's part of it. Again, wanting to look cool, all blushy, that kind of stuff, hiding the back of the head, all that kind of stuff, you know? Like, even the kind of trying to pop the hood up, look cool, that kind of vibe as a child, that's definitely something too. When in reality, you're playing with, like, toy guns with your, like, robot friend. That's not very adult at all. Of course, in the episode as well, transitioning away from playing this game towards going on a very adult date to a sophisticated cafe with Mamimi, wanting to project a lot, feeling like you're hot shit, wanting to look older and all these other kind of things. Again, comparison. We're doing a part-time job all together, driving a car. You're stuck here playing with toy guns and that kind of thing. You want to hide the toy guns. You want to pretend like you're not doing this. You want to seem cool. I like this as well. Can't they go buy some juice? And then you just kind of like... off to his home planet now, he goes and buys some juice. Still asking for nothing too sour as well, reverting back to that childish state and that kind of thing. Very, very cool. Naota, did you hear the rumors that you're cool? So we kind of interrupt this scene. It seems like Naota's really getting like sunned here a little bit in the scene, and then it switches completely. It's like, you're actually really cool. We think you're cool. So very early in the scene, Naota is getting like egoed out of it, right? He's like not really feeling himself. He's a little bit embarrassed, that kind of thing. All my friends are so much cooler than I am. I'm putting a lot of value in them and their opinions, and then you learn in the scene that they think you're really cool. And then that ego trips you, and then you start to go crazy. Don't ask me about the popsicle. I don't want to talk about the popsicle. We're going to skip away from the popsicle and instead talk about this. You were controlling the robot at the school. You hit the fucking other satellite with your guitar and that kind of thing. This whole baseball thing. Wait, I actually am cool. I'm blushing and that kind of thing, right? The little smile there, the ego tripping, and then we get the CG gun cocking, right? The revolver kind of loading up again. It seems like what's fueling this particular creation, right, is ego and self-image gaining and that kind of thing. And again, it gets to a certain point and then it erupts completely. So, you know, that's, yeah, we'll consider that when we're fighting the thing. Another really fun part here with the popsicle, still not talking about it, but kind of transitioning from like sucking on it to like just biting it off. So like you're seeing through what he's doing right now. You know that this isn't Naota, and it elicits a different response. You're just casually watching along. You're a lot smarter than the other people in the car, I would say. Ask me if I want to talk about this. I still don't want to talk about that either. But it is very, curious that Haruko comes over just as, you're starting to ego trip and that kind of thing. In front of your two friends as well. I want to look cool, come over and be with him and rub myself all over him and these kind of things. Again, fueling the ego. Also, you won the paddle pop stick fucking prize. What is this, Monogatari? And as a payment for the work, you receive a water pistol? What? Again, water versus fire, maybe? I don't know what's going on there. The green color as opposed to the red and the blues. Through that green pistol, of course, you also see Mamimi. So again, if we're associating a lot of blues and reds contrasted, right, then what's off to the side, not considered by the both of them? The green with envy potentially as well. We have Mamimi over here. So you see Mamimi over here looking vaguely jealous, I would say, staring over at her, where you then use your water pistol to cool him off as well, because you secretly still kind of like him as well. But very fun scene, very, almost like love squarey, kind of all this infighting between the three female leads of the show, I would say. We get a nice little bit of context here with kind of these guys driving off after the fact. Ninamori here asking questions regarding Naota and who he's going out with. Do you reckon he's going out with Mamimi? Do you reckon he's going out with the Chu lady? And this kind of transition of this frame into like this frame where like the guns there mirror each other, right? Ninamori aiming their gun squarely at Mamimi, right? And you aiming the guns at yourself, which is very interesting as well. They're talking about the drink that he got, the juice that Kanti dropped off, of course. He got a pulpy one. Oh, you like the pulpy ones now? Well, I don't like the sour ones, You're being associated with the... Mamimi was always associated with the sour ones. That's from the first episode, right? Taking a sip of the drink, right? That's kind of secondhand kiss, that sour drink. I don't like sour drinks. I don't like to secondhand kiss with you, Mamimi. Instead, I'm moving on to this new thing. This elicits the jealousy. That's clearly what's being got at here. Because, yeah, Haruko-san likes the pulpy ones too. You've moved on and your tastes now mirror her tastes, right? She's really rubbed off on you. I've seen what you two are doing together. I don't think anything about Haruko. I just kind of let her do it. That was just messing around. We don't normally do that stuff. Well, we don't always do that stuff. It's amazing. Controlling Kanti-sama, attacking the Great Lord of Fear, and saving the city. This new Takun is pretty amazing. And again, you're like wistful about that. But this like ego trips him. He's like loving it. Oh, you saw all that? So Mamimi thinks I'm cool too. And I already know that Haruko thinks I'm cool from the first scene of the episode, right? We're in the kind of bedroom together. Yeah, it's nothing really, all bashful about it. Kind of eyes glazed over, losing himself in the kind of pursuit of cool of it all, Believing the hype, so to say. I guess I really did save the city. Oh, I guess you did see that. But again, ending that scene there with Mamimi aiming the gun at his head. I don't appreciate that you're doing these kind of things. You may think that this is the kind of thing to make me swoon. That's not what I like you for. But again, that in itself is toxic, right? I want you to stay the same, Naota, so I can stay the same and we can have the same relationship forever. Still not good. Still not what we ultimately want. We then meet up again with our sniper character over here, who says that Kanti is a fearsome target, right? Flying around like it's nothing. He's nothing to scoff at. And as we say that, here he is, lo and behold. We think that he's coming to like take her out or whatever, right? Or at least she does. And of course, this almost action movie tropey scene, right? Where we're kind of on comms to somebody from the field and that kind of thing, right? And then they drop out and start to make these like screams and yells and that kind of thing. And we have the commander yelling to see if they're all right? What's going on? What's wrong? Help, help, that kind of thing. And is it the water again? And that, of course, being combined with the water from the hairdresser. Just awesome. Just like that great subversion of us thinking we're like cool government agents that are doing like an assassination and that kind of thing, when in reality we're just nerds getting haircuts and hairdressing and hair washed and that kind of thing. In reality, the danger is way closer to home here. It turns out that your hairdresser has been replaced. As the towel goes over your kind of face here, Haruko comes in and she's gonna fucking take you out. I don't know what's happening. Fucking these two are beefing. I don't know why. And a lot of the rest of the episode is Haruko being demented. So Haruko sees right now that she's put all the pieces in place. Naota's gonna solve himself. He's gonna produce this guy and all that's gonna be fine. Cool. That part of the plan is done. Now the next part of the plan is to make sure that Amurao doesn't interfere, I guess. Again, we know that the sniper's been taken out. She was down the river. Hey, Kanthi, go deal with her however you will. I'm going to be crazy and go off and finish off Amurao, right? We can't have anybody interrupting the plan from here. Haruko's major thing this episode between Kamon and this guy is kind of emasculating these guys, right? You thought a clean-cut look would get the girls. All this kind of phallic imagery as well coming out of the heads. She's like little broing everybody. Again, it is kind of funny that unbeknownst to us at the time, there was this very real assassination attempt taking place on the ridge. And there's also something in like her not noticing Mamimi just like being there off to the side, that she kind of blends into the background, you know? Again, more mirroring of dynamics here. We have Haruko starting to shoot her gun at Amurao. That same time, we have Mamimi shooting her gun at young Naota here. But you're not super into it. You're like still looking wistful off in the distance about it as well. You're not really into this whole fighting thing. Again, it almost gives off the vibe that you want to be included in the game, but you weren't, and you're like coy about that. You're like kind of not trying to reveal that intention. You wanted to be involved, but you weren't. But again, you're sad that you weren't involved initially as well. That's why you're wistful about it too. Again, I want to be involved in your fully coolly adventures and all that kind of stuff. You're going to tell me about what's under the hood, what's going on under there again. When we talk about what's going on under the hood as well, we can infer some other stuff as well. Little South Park Kenny going on here as well, being very sheepish about this. Takun, you're so amazing. You do furikuri and pulpy and gurgly. When did you become all grown up like that? You're all sheepish about this. Again, that's fueling the fire in your own head. Did your change start with Haru-san? Is that what happened there? Does that mean he finally clocks that Mamimi is kind of jealous and then gets a bit of an ego about him and starts dragging her off places as that gun continues to load in his head? Bringing kind of the third element to our kind of parallels here, we then have, again, you had a name, it was like Kitsu something, I don't know, sniper lady. She gets out her guns and starts shooting Kanthi-sama, right? So now we've got a direct parallel between Kanthi and Naota as it pertains to this kind of stuff, and grabbing onto somebody's hand. Naota, he's gone off and grabbed it, right? Kanthi-sama, he offers a hand instead. Also, another really cool one, as we flash back to this fight, we see the bullet casings from Amurao, right? They're empty. He has nothing inside. He's not... the read on him is correct. He outwardly portrays strength, but doesn't have any of that strength internal. They're all fake bullets, right? Again, puts on a good face, looks like he's important, looks like he's this kind of guy. But eventually he gets little broed by Haruko every time. Again, this guy represented an ideal of sorts for Naota back in the day, that this was a way to go. Especially last episode, right? Like, this was a direction that he could go eventually. In reality, that is just as hollow as any other direction he could go, right? He's got to find his own thing that is fully coolly, maybe. That robot is too dangerous. If we don't take it out, Medical Mechanica will make its move. They're willing to move the plant to this planet for that purpose. And that thing, when it turns red, it's Atomisk. But again, Haruko doesn't care about any of that. Supplanting the gun here for a guitar and shooting all these stupid Men in Black guys down to the ground. Again, they're Men in Black fighting against an alien presence as well. Clearly, you got incensed at the mention of Atomisk as well. That's clearly your goal in all of this, I think. But again, your goal now aligns with Medical Mechanica, I think. Either way, the animation from here on in the episode is just stellar. I think it's fucking awesome. Some of the best action I've seen in a minute, like straight up. It's very, very good. There's almost an inhuman quality to Naota's eyes as we flash back to the other scene here, pulling Mamimi along. She's clearly not that into it, to the point of hurting her Again, contrast, right? Mamimi being disenchanted with this version of Naota against the sniper lady, who's enchanted with this version of Kanti, being a gentleman, gentlemanly, and that kind of thing, right? Again, this contrast almost between Kanti and the Tomask as well. Which one ultimately should we hope to be? Because this is very caring. This is almost an ideal in itself, right? This very unassuming guy that's off doing the chores all the time and just kind of caring for the family. He seems pretty cool. He seems pretty cool, I guess, right? Versus a Tomask who's not cool, who seems like he's a little bit more ego-y and that kind of thing, right? The scene's reaching a fever pitch over here with Mamimi and Naota. Takes her off to a cafe. She doesn't want to go inside. This isn't the normal stuff you would do. This is Haruko's influence on you. Again, the Haruko here that looks broadly pretty villainous. Again, I like the kind of bullet holes here out of the end of the guitar. Mamimi ultimately here confronting Naota to confront the question himself, do you like Haru-san? Do you like Haruko? Goes to try to smooch her, of course, and then gets mad when she doesn't reciprocate, right? What's wrong? Don't you like me too, Mamimi? And this look of concern from Mamimi, right? As we then get surprised, the battle rages on elsewhere. But that ultimately being the trigger for the gun to start, right? You admitting this side of what's going on. Also, fantastic frame. From here, it all happens very quickly. The thing grows out of Naota's head and turns into a Godzilla-like presence. Alright, I think I understand what's going on. Okay. Medical Mechanica is transporting those things here to destroy the planet. And you don't care about the planet getting destroyed. That's not what you care about at all, right? So you're not working with Mechanical Mechanica or anything. Your goal is Atomisk, right? At all costs, right? You believe it's too dangerous to have somebody like Kanti rolling around when Mechanical Mechanica wants to destroy the world or whatever, right? Thus, the government doesn't want the world to get destroyed, fair enough, so we need to stop these robots and whatever they're doing going towards the big anvil thing or whatever, right? But again, your interests are so far beyond these mere human interests of the planet and that kind of thing, right? You're intergalactic, you don't consider these people to be anything above monkeys. You're advanced beyond that. And again, the goal being Atomisk. That's the whole point here. That's the point of what you're doing. You're, again, in essence, using the entire planet and that kind of thing to get what you want. Again, you're willing to put it all on the line for this one guy. In that way, you're not that different from Mamimi and the rest of the characters as well, which is kind of a really fun parallel. I like this as well. That's discriminatory language against underdeveloped planets. He's almost got some Neanderthal-type features going on here as well. Yeah, very, very fun. So again, you're aware of who Haruko is and how advanced their alien race is and all that kind of stuff, right? So again, you're just holding out against these people. And then she starts to do some magical girl bullshit. You've lost your eyebrows and continue to look for them. But then you get enamored with the whole thing as we continue here. Your eyes can't help but be drawn to the magic. You don't have this protective shield of the eyebrows stopping this from happening as well. And then we see the phallic object coming out of your head, tiny as usual. Again, empty. You know, show out like you're really mature and that kind of thing. In reality, you've got a small penis. In reality, you're enamored with Haruko as well. Why you treat that elementary school kid? Why couldn't you have chosen me? What's wrong with me? And then the song starts blaring, and I don't know why, but she's in a bunny girl costume surfing on an electric guitar. It's just sick looking. I don't know what to tell you. What is it, Daikon V? Excuse me? Anyway, this screams another anime reference or something that I'm just not getting. But sure, the only bunny girl costume I know is fucking Haruhi, which came out well after this. Very important moment here as well. As these explosions rain down from Haruko and her slingshot of doom, we have Mamimi here calling out for Tusk Senpai. So this basically breaks down the ego that Naota had built up for himself through the entire episode, right? Like, even at this moment, even when I'm right next to you, you still want my brother instead? You still think that he's going to save you? Again, projecting all of those feelings onto Kanti-sama as well. He's ultimately the one that saved you from the fire and all that kind of stuff as well, right? In episode 2. You don't like me, you just like me as a backup. You still like my brother, you still like the robot more, all those kind of things. Again, learning this makes Naota angry. Look at me, I'm the one who's going to save you. Calling out for Kanti, him coming down like a fucking superpower, looking like a fucking stand here. This is actually awesome looking. Listen, I'm Naota, don't call me Takun anymore. Does this look like the kind of thing that's good? This fucking red-teethed mouth? The red again as well, the red eyes? The combination of the red and blue? Kind of the red kind of biting him, taking him internal, and then becoming red himself, like kind of this inverse of the colors there, which I really like as well, upon Naota entering the mech. So yeah, don't call me Tarkun again, and then he gets fucking eaten by the flesh robot, and he turns red completely, turning into Atomisk. Again, animation here is a 10 out of 10 as we continue the scene. Continuing the red theme here, we have Haruko doing the kind of whole Matador situation with the bull charging at the red, even potentially the bullet charging at the red. Here's the biggest indicator, right? We have Haruko here riding on top of the new Kanti-sama, which I'm calling Atomsk. Now, of course, after being picked up, there's also this fun little frame here as she crashes to the ground, where she looks like she's in trouble for but a moment before, like, he climbs in and saves her and she's kind of reinvigorated, right? This is exactly what she wanted to happen. Up to the point of saying chance, punching him in the head, turning him into gun form and shooting that bullet off into him, impaling him, saving the day essentially. But again, who's that bullet? We shoot that bullet off again and it crashes into the sign. That bullet is Naota. Again, you were ammunition, you were fuel for whatever the hell was going on here. Off to the final attack, we have that kind of bullet getting deflected. This is when Naota flies off over here. Again, you were only ever kind of ammunition for the actual hero here, for the Atomska, the guy that gets all the fucking girls and that kind of thing. You were played for a fool. I'm all out of ammo. I go to hit him with the guitar, but then I get fucking air shot out of the air from 6 different directions as well. It seems like this guy's ultimately going to be successful at destroying the planet. Atomska is still there to save the day, goes full red, and this is when he shoots his Giga Beam. I can't help but think that that Haruko here looks a little bit like Mamimi, struck by the presence of this guy and how powerful he is and that kind of thing. And then, yeah, from there, pulling out the really cool guitar out of his head as well from that beam, proving, of course, that he is actually Atomsk. And almost like there's a very classic storytelling edge to it as well, pulling forth the hero's sword and pointing it that way as well. This guy is the protagonist. And he's the guy that ultimately hits it with the guitar, something Haruko couldn't do. I've bested Haruko in combat. She couldn't be the one to finish the game here. Instead, I'm the powerful one. And again, this whole situation was enough to draw Atomsk out. They realize that he's here. He's the one. Now everyone's fawning over this new guy. He's the real pirate king. The kind of robot there now turns into a hand, ultimately gets destroyed. You could read into the baseball metaphor here as well. The ball that was meant to be caught by this baseball glove went right through the hand, used as ammunition again, and ultimately that steam got released again. So the planet is safe for another day. But now there's this brand new dynamic, right? We see that bullet finally fall out of the gun. The reveal, of course, that bullet was a rolled up little Naota. Again, using the water pistol there to cool him down too. Love that from you, Ninamori. Folds out here, used as cannon fodder, tossed off to the side. Haruko heals in him. Very painful look here. And yeah, love struck instead with our boy Atomsk. Ultimately, a big hand left with a hole in the middle, kind of left in the aftermath, right? This is what's in the aftermath of everything, you know? Kind of like getting shot through the heart as well. Kind of like heartbreak is what I'm getting from this as well a little bit. Even sacrifice, ultimate sacrifice, kind of a crucifixion, you know? Through the hand. Something in that as well. You've been sacrificed and you've been kind of crucified for your actions, for somebody else's gain. Like, yeah, it feels really like Naota's been tossed away here. And of course, this is the last frame of the episode, perfectly getting this across. I no longer am interested in you. I'm now interested in robot with cool guitar. And all the friends are seeing the aftermath here. Mamimi probably feeling the most smug about all of this. Again, maybe showing a little bit of interest now that his social status has dropped once again. I don't know, another interesting look there. I am running out of time here, but I'm still going to leave it up to tomorrow to see if I'm going to be the one to return and talk about some more. I don't know. We'll see. That episode was very good again, obviously. Very enjoyable. I think I'm kind of getting the whole mechanica thing. That's a big point of contention, I guess, but it's not really ultimately important. It's a little bit more of an internal character show. Kind of this being Naota's ultimate judgment in a way, right? His punishment for all this ego that he's been building up through the rest, and his punishment for putting so much blind trust in Haruko in that way. I wonder if that trust will get rewarded. I wonder what the dynamic is like from here. I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully Mamimi gets a happy ending. That's all I want. yeah, either next episode or something else will play here. So thanks for watching and that kind of thing. Hello, we're back. It's the next day. I have episode 6, the final episode of Fully Coolly, up here ready to go, of course, with 30 minutes and 55 seconds on this one. So a little bit longer, which I did not know before I opened the file, but we're here now, let's do it. Yeah, basically I just decided why not do like one big long video by the very end. Also, another thing I wanted to talk about that I meant to talk about earlier in the video, but I'll talk about it now. Like, I'm not continuing the show after this. I hear that the rest of the stuff varies from mid to bad. That's what I hear anyway, so again, unless there is significant pushback on me stopping watching the show here, then I think I'm gonna stop. Again, I may check out the other stuff down the line when I have some free time and that kind of stuff, just because generally I'm interested in the world and the characters, but if people say it's bad, it's bad. And again, a lot of what, again, I'll get into wrap-up stuff later too. A lot of what makes this show good is the way it's produced, right? And the general tone and leaving things unsaid and that kind of stuff, right? Stuff that again attaches itself very much so to the creatives and Gainax itself, and then you can kind of track the downfall of Gainax into that. And anyway, we don't need to talk about it all that much. What we need to do is watch episode 6. As always, there'll be a picture-in-picture version in the description below, and I'm using the Boars subset. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Straight in, chopsticks. Oh. I liked that cut as well, between the characters. Very loud. She's like me using chopsticks, hopeless. Okay, it looks like our boy and his eyes are a little bit glazed over. Holds up Spork. What is the spork metaphor? Yeah. Young lad is depressed. Fair enough, based on the end of last episode. Me IRL. Oh, ever since. Ooh, okay, I like that line too. Okay. How about Haruko? Is that what the gigantic hand says? Oh, okay. I like that. No more spicy bread? Oh my god, the metaphor. Interesting. At least he's working out. To make my brain smooth. Okay. What was the drink? Okay. Established a few things. Kind of. The presence of Haruko is unknown. Mamimi's here, still using the name. For the cat, maybe? And not for Naota? Yeah, Naota's... He was there on the bike, right? Wait, no, who's that? That was somebody else. But obviously, yeah, I see what that's signifying as well. A person on a bike riding away, you say? Hmm. It's running away. Having a dart, fair enough. Question mark? Some kind of a little robot friend. Oh, little penguin. I liked that. Yeah, give it all the secondhand smoke. That'd be awesome. No, I loved it. So it seems like she lost the cat. He's drinking black coffee. She lost the cat, picked up a little robot friend. Oh, hello. How'd you get up there? Oh, okay. Go see my Mimi. Raharu. Yeah. He's a Chad. Robot Chad? Oh, because he can steal whole. Okay, sure. Oh. Oh. Yeah, that was the indication as well from last episode, I thought. Put that damn phone away. What was that Tasku's phone number? I think so. Tasuku. Nice shot. Eat the phone. Okay, throw away the phone number. That's what we're saying. Mine now. Oh, dude. The cigarette callback. Oh, he grew. Okay. You're now my new friend. Okay. Okay. Lots of stuff early. Oh, the eyebrows. They're fun. Seaweed eyebrows. Okay, this is gonna be some bullshit. Is she back? This is like the first episode. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, this is great. Oh, she brought back hella spicy shit too. No, I mean, can you talk to me about Atomisk? I want to know what's going on there. No, we're still doing like fully cooly nonsense. Just say bullshit. Awesome. Cock cam? Hell yeah. Oh, great. That was cool. Yeah, let's jump out of the manga world. Normal anime. Oh, that was great. Would it take more work? Probably. No, you can't make it fit. It means nothing. That's the whole point. Yeah, the main character too. All the fourth wall breaks in the world. Oh, coolie. Yeah, Beatty's. Oh, that looked amazing. Fucking Beatty's ass. Chat, it's nonsense. It's fine. Well, he got hit in the head with the guitar again, of course. Yeah. I'm thinking something. It calls into question why she's back and why she just did what she did. That's all I'm trying to say. What? Not anymore. Not after episode 5. So I need to use you. What about the robot boy? I agree. Mommy? Sorry, mommy? Sorry. Um, Interesting. Yeah, Haruko's here. Here for good. She'll make it all okay. I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm feeling cynical this morning. But, a means to an end is all I think this is. Bought some more tech. Oh yeah, he's grown up a little bit. Little dog. Okay, I mean, that bodes poorly with the red eyes and everything, but we'll see. See, it's a metaphor, chat. It is good advice, honestly. Oh, that too. Oh, yeah, true. And she cleared the bar as a result. Is she the most functional character in the show? That's surprising. I see. Yeah, I thought again the Pirate King. He's attached to Medical Mechanica, right? So like, would he help? Steal everyone's phones and keep feeding them to the dog. Again, I'm gonna be real. This bodes poorly. Never knows best, indeed. The chopsticks too, chat. That's some philosophy, sure. They took a Thomask from you, maybe? Okay, thick as thieves, apparently. They're back to normal. Let me get a good look at this dog. No, he's still cute. Okay. Yeah, this location and this song, first episode vibes again, yeah? For sure. Okay. Yeah, lots of metaphors there for sure of eating this motorbike. Yeah, the lead cool. Yeah. We'll see if you can hold on to that lead for much longer. I do like this tie of Mamimi into it seems like the main villain of this particular segment. I think that's pretty cool. Oh, yeah, you recognize a certain yellow moped. Homeless. Fair enough. I'll just walk away, Ninamori. Just turn around. Just makes it a whole lot easier. Good girl. It's good stuff. Obviously, the contrast there between everybody else and the outcasts, too. Yeah, getting pretty big. Bit of exposition, some rumors. I reckon it should start eating people. Did they get fucking... Okay, now they dodged. Okay, saved. I don't feel like you're getting the point. Hamagoroshi? He is 12. Don't touch me, creep. This is problematic. Now that's a little bit more problematic. There we go. There's the connection chat. Yeah, whenever... Oh, what the fuck? Oh, the brain wings, of course. Okay, now we're tying everything together. Oh, she got a new car after episode 3, too. That's great. Holy fuck. They animate the shit out of this show, yeah. It is. It's very, Oh, yeah, you're gonna jump in the hand? Oh, yeah, look at this. This is very, like, monster movie. Damsel in distress, blah, 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 blah. That kind of vibe. King Kong. Why shoot them? They're gonna help you. At least the way that's how I see motivations working. Oh no, he may be the final component. Yeah, in his head. I see. Okay. Where are your eyebrows? I like this showdown. Yeah, but we'll see. Okay, being honest at least. Yeah, like the first episode again as well. There you go. Yeah, this is gonna destroy the planet, chat. This is some fucking... That's some Evangelion-ass bullshit. Yeah. They're smoothing planets. The Earth is going to be perfectly smooth. Yeah, you're willing to sacrifice the planet for it. Yeah, so this is like a... Oh, that looks awesome. But this is like a bad thing, chat? Oh, that looks awesome too. Oh yeah, and that's the fun reversal there too. Okay, I mean, let the smoothening commence. Oh, now you saved the day. Pog. The young pirate king. Oh. Yo. Now that looked like Mob Psycho 100. He was piratized? Oh, that's what it was hiding, the symbol. TFB, I'm saving the planet. The ultimate act of defiance, chat. Interesting. So it seems like one of the reveals here is that it wasn't like a romantic thing against a guy, it was to gain power. So all his love-struck feelings were to gain power from last episode. Interesting. That looked awesome. I've ascended. Oh, confession and smooch. And the halo? So now it seems like we're doing something different again? Which we're allowed to, I guess. What the fuck is that? Superbird. And we're sucking up all the technology. Mamimi? Where's she hanging out at, you reckon? Not the eyebrows. Yeah. Evangelion, huh? Yep, alright. We're sucking up everything. We don't give a fuck. I became a god. The planet wasn't smoothened. We won. But you lost. Okay, bye. Oh, that's cool. Okay, bye. Adios, I guess. Alright, Mamimi, thoughts? Oh, the audio there, awesome. Naota-kun as well. Oh. High school. Or middle school, I guess. It looks very official. It's too carbonated. Okay, sure. Probably for the best. But I still have my guitar. There's ghosts? All right, so obviously a little bit of an abstract ending. Yeah, that's pretty much the ending. I don't know what to think. I didn't obviously expect a big old, happily ever after sandwich ending, just based on the tone of the show. But that being said, I'm going to have to do some heavy lifting here to put the pieces together. I would say that climax was in line with the rest of the show, so quality-wise, I would say. Haruko is quite fascinating here, and the kind of, I would say, a reveal that, again, Atomisk isn't a being. I thought it was a being. Again, they call him a pirate king, implies at least some kind of person to it. No, it's a power. So again, Haruko was or Raharu, I guess I should say, was like okay with deleting an entire planet if it got her the power that she wanted, and she was okay with being a cog in one of medical Mechanica's schemes if it got her said power as well. In the end, that power seemed to manifest within itself and then just fly off. And now it's off to the next thing. And I don't know if it's still within the power of Medical Mechanica or not, but I don't know. Either way, Haruko didn't get what she wanted. So purposefully dissatisfying there. Naota didn't get what he wanted either. It's very opposite to normal storytelling. There wasn't really a payoff there per se. I think the best ending here is for Mamimi, right? She just moves on. She's moved on from all these people. Sayonara Naota as well. All this Taku in this episode as well. I'm going to drop that completely. She steals herself. It's almost like it's her turn to grow up in a way during that ending. I think, again, moving away from all this and this town itself was the best thing for her. So, hey, my girl got a good, happy ending. Shoutouts to that. Oh, and yeah, okay. Is that new? I think that's new. Goodbye. She's off to the next planet. Sure. So yeah, that was episode 6. Yeah, let's do some analysis on that one. We'll see what I come up with. It'll be something. Radio chat room, we're back. That was episode 6 of Fully Coolly. What did I think? I thought it was pretty cool. I really, really liked it. Again, appropriately offbeat is how I would describe it. Obviously, so much of the show is aware of genre tropes, aware of story convention, trying to actively subvert it sometimes. Obviously, this kind of really cyclical ending to it all as well. Obviously, ending the show where we're starting it as well. Kind of nothing happens in this town, kind of everything back to normal type conceit is antithetical to basically the concept of storytelling, especially in sci-fi, especially in the genre of particular sci-fi which Gainax normally operates in. Obviously, we're playing off of that a little bit, I would say. I think ultimately we're going to try to come out of what we're going to do here with an ultimate thesis statement. What are we trying to say? What was Haruko trying to do the entire time? What was the purpose of all of this for Naota? Kind of that decision point, that very obvious decision point between Haruko and Amurao, right? Why he chose what he chose, and then why he grasped the ability that he grasped in the very end as well, why he ultimately let that go as well, and of course following Mamimi through this as well, as she sees in real time, I guess, the effects of her obsession over a new Takun, right? She sees in that moment, again, when all this destruction is brought forth, she sees the destruction that she's done in the previous Takuns in her life. Tasuku, Naota, even the cat itself, right? It ran away from me. It didn't end in any joy for anybody. So ultimately making that decision and putting her foot down and saying, I'm going to stop this, that feels like a powerful sentiment to me as well. Obviously, yeah, again, I commented in the reaction as well. There's a ton of metaphors in this thing, a ton. We're going to try to get into a few of them, starting obviously here in this scene with the chopsticks. I'll spoil it for you very early. They split in two, much like how, again, Haruko and Naota, they were best buddies. They were two chopsticks that hadn't been pulled apart yet. That, hey, when push came to shove, they needed to come apart. They may come back together briefly to consume something, but again, they're ultimately never going to be back together the same way they were again. I think that's what we're getting at there. Also, I like the teacher, Mia-jun, I think her name is. I just think she's very funny. Even this expression, this whole scene of hers is quite humorous. So yeah, we're going to go back through here and see what we can see, I guess. Am I wrong as well? Is there some vague romantic vibes between Ninamori and Naota by the very end? I would say that that's accurate. That's kind of cool. Yeah, she, again, I commented in the in the reaction, she seems like the most well-adjusted out of everybody, which I guess isn't a very high bar, pardon the pun. But yeah, we'll get to a lot of her stuff later on. Naota seems depressed. That's basically what this first scene's trying to get across. Depressed mostly on the basis of the separation between him and Haruko, signified by the chopsticks. A really fun cut here as well when we say Oji-chan and Oba-chan, right? We pan to Naota and Ninamori respectively, which is kind of cute, maybe again indicating a relationship there. Another fun connection here as well, using chopsticks exercises your brain. I'm guessing this is true on some level, we've even got it in the background there somewhere. Again, so much of the thematic stuff in the episode being the smoothing of one's brain based on the iron as well, and kind of uniformity and conformity in that kind of stuff as well. Again, the ultimate irony of Haruko, this symbol against the system and being this rebel and blah, 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 blah. She ultimately doesn't care about working for the man, medical mechanica. She doesn't care about working for the man if it gets her what she wants. She's kind of this fake rebel in that way as well. Really, really interesting. That's cool. Everyone here argues that the chopsticks are lame and that they used to like the sporks better. Again, a spork is uniform, it is singular, as opposed to the two chopsticks that have separated. Again, I'm going to stop talking about the chopsticks now. Specifically here, Naota is off to get some sporks. I don't need to explain why. He likes spork better than chopstick. Read into it. So much of the early portions of the episode here is kind of, I guess, the town and Naota himself both combining in this kind of malaise, right? There is a haze over everything. There's this fog everywhere. We can't see in or out. It feels like I'm trapped. It really signifies this kind of depression that he's going through. Again, the town itself matching what he's feeling. Again, on the basis of whatever the hell's going on over here. So mechanica, whatever the hell Haruko has brought forth here, in essence, right? And this whole atomisk thing, it has brought this malaise, again, over the town and over Naota himself. You can't see either the sky or the stars. I can't escape intergalactically as well. So again, trapped on all sides. I can't leave this town. Obviously, that whole sentiment of these kind of small towns and that kind of thing, I'm kind of trapped within here. And this kind of, I can't escape intergalactically as well on that Haruko level. She's an alien. She may be up in space somewhere. As it turns out, she's just in Hawaii. But like, you get what I mean though, right? I can't see her in space either, you know? This sentiment as well will come back by the very end as we, again, it's a very different tone, but we essentially end on the same thing. I'm trapped in this town. Nothing ever happens here. It's really boring. Hey, maybe that's okay. Maybe boring's pretty good. Particularly like this line as well. It's like the right hand of a prison warden giving the signal for an execution. He feels like he's going to die here. He feels like this is his lot in life, and he's just waiting to die. Again, I'm sure this can be relatable on some level to people who have lived in these kind of towns. Another pretty obvious one here, spicy bread has been discontinued. The spicy factor and that kind of element of taste often associated with Haruko. If she's not here, then the spicy bread's discontinued. It's the same old normal stuff that we've always had for Naota, right? Nothing ever changes here. I wonder if those two that just vanished went to the outside world. Is this Mamimi? I hope so. Otherwise he's just like hanging with some other hippie girl. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, these two are missing. They've escaped to the outside world, so to say. They've escaped the narrative in a lot of ways as well. I talked about this a lot in Utena, kind of the town that Utena's placed in as well, and Otori Academy as a whole being the basis for the story there, nothing really existing outside of it, getting kind of meta on that level, especially reinforced in Adolescence of Utena as well. I'm seeing similar vibes here. Nothing exists outside of this town, you know? We check back in with our, I guess, Evangelion squad over here. Yeah, we hand off the water here. So, okay, this is a fun parallel too. Okay, so we have a male character and a female character sharing a drink. That reminds me of kind of Mamimi and Naota very early and kind of the second-hand kiss effect and that kind of thing, right? So now we're sharing this drink. You find it repulsive that you're drinking the same thing he's drinking. Again, just this general opinion of everybody that this Commander Amaral guy isn't what he cracks up to be. He seems one way, but he's always another way. It's never good with him, if that makes any sense. It's a very funny scene by the very end. Either way, they tell us that it's a hand, and the hand looks like it's going to grab something. It's always kind of looked like a clothes iron. I guess I've never really thought about it like that, but yeah, it is. And again, it wants to grab the iron. Medical Mechanica. I always struggle with that one. They want to like smooth the earth, but we talk about that later. Does it want to iron out the wrinkles of the brain, and the wrinkles of the earth in turn? Oh, also another really fun one. Again, I'm talking about Utena a lot as well, because this was in Utena as well. We had a character riding a stationary bike. So that's what you're doing here. You're riding a bike, right? But it's stationary. It's keeping you in place. You're not moving anywhere, you know? You're not getting any momentum there. Again, contrasted with Raharu and her Vespa, of course, as well as the motorbike guy we'll see with Mamimi here in a second. The motorbike guy that we saw in the very start of the show, one of the first images we saw in Fully Cooley. Again, here we have the sipping of the drink, and it's disgusting, right? Tastes like shit. I didn't want to share a fucking secondhand kiss with this loser guy. And we get some general establishment stuff for the rest of the story. Hey, we need to find the core. The terminal core is very important here. And very obviously we go straight from that to the scene with Mamimi. That indicates, again, to an audience that was paying attention, maybe not me, but somebody else, that, again, what Mamimi finds here is the terminal core in question. Again, in contrast to previous episodes, I think this one is far more understandable, which I kind of really enjoy for a climax, right? Again, it's still abstract enough, I would say, and the ending definitely is on purpose dissatisfying. But yeah, I feel like this one was easier to understand for sure. Again, a few more establishing shots, a few more things that run from one thing into another thing, normal kind of TV stuff. So her calling out to Tarquin here is dual-purposed. Of course, she's talking to Naota. She wants Naota to return to her and do her whole Naota kind of self-reliant, self-dependence kind of thing. Like, I'm depending on him to give me happy chemicals in my brain every day. Again, much like a cigarette almost as well. It's an addiction to something that's ultimately very bad for you. So there's that element to it of the human Naota, but then there's also the cat as well, which we see paired off with another cat later in another scene. So obviously she's lost her cat, she's lost her boy, she's kind of left all alone, just chilling by the bridge, under the bridge like normal. She can't find anything she wants to find. Still this camera, though. Still hanging around. The scene goes from bad to worse, of course, when she gets splashed by the motorbike. I was trying to look for something here on the number plate, but I don't see anything in particular. Again, this kind of motorbike, cool guy motif thing. I see a lot of Tasuku in this. I don't know why. Maybe it's the jacket as well and that kind of vibe. But I feel like it's a real fuck you. It's a nobody wants to see you, get splashed with water, I'm riding off into the distance away from you, leaving you all alone. It's a manifestation of all the things that she would be feeling at this time. Again, I can't help but continue to feel very, very bad for Mamimi. We don't see her family the entire show. We don't see any friends that she has the entire show. It's easy to imply that she has basically none of either. She's here all alone every day waiting for Naota, right? And again, Naota finds that kind of dependence. He finds it alluring in some ways. Last episode, he kind of ego trips on it, right? But at the end of the day, he finds it bothersome. Even this is tiresome for him. It's so very depressing. And again, the best move you can make for your future is to move away. Mamimi. She needs to get away from whatever the hell's going on here. This bums me out. It really does. But again, we know now that he's kind of torn up about that whole love triangle relationship thing going on, especially the Haruko side of it. He just wants to run away for now. He doesn't want to confront any of it. So again, that's what causes Mamimi to make the decisions that she does during this episode as well. Everybody's abandoned me. I have to put all my love into this thing instead. Again, we'll continue to talk about Ninamori this episode as well. I think she's fascinating how kind of well-adjusted she is based on everything. It feels like she has a real perspective on the situation that not many others do. Again, just this kind of look from Naota over back to Mamimi on the riverbank there. It speaks volumes, I think. I've talked about the cigarette already, this kind of self-destructive dependence kind of element to it, attaching that to the whole Tarquin situation. It's raining right now. There's a lot going on. You can kind of see it. It's pretty obvious stuff. Either way, we find the terminal core here on the riverbank. it was apparently in the robot that came last episode, and there was this big wreck around and we couldn't find the core within it. The core is sentient, it's off doing its own thing and becomes a little puppy dog for Mamimi here. Again, even in this darkest moment, she still tries to like seek this thing out, sneak on over to it and give it affection. Again, just a habit she can't kick. There's some really fun character animation there as well with this kind of penguin move, if I can grab it. Yeah, this kind of stuff. Yeah, really fantastic. Love it. Specifically here, she blows some cigarette smoke on it as well, and it seems to like it. So again, if I can make this thing happy, then I'm going to continue to attach myself to it. Thus, we get the whole pet motif that we continue through the rest of the episode as it pertains to this particular creation. It's no surprise that he's drinking a black coffee when he runs into Commander Amaral, right? It's a bitter taste. It's this kind of adult taste. He's trying to move on from all these childish distraction delusions that he's had in the past. He's trying to move on to be a sensible adult, like my good friend up here. Sensible adult. Commander Amaral here whacks on some eyebrows onto him, whacks on some seaweed there, of course. Again, we want Naota to be adult about the situation. Cats should play with other cats, indicating that we're kind of kindred spirits. I think there's some indicators from Amaral, and he's had a past relationship there with Raharu, right? And doesn't really appreciate her presence and thinks that she's kind of a bad influence and all these other things. Cats should play with other cats. We're kindred spirits in the way that Raharu has fucked us over, right? Therefore, keep this on as protection, maintain this kind of adult status, and don't be swept up in her bullshit anymore. I also kind of see cats should play with other cats as, hey, you should go over and see Mamimi, right? Like, forget about Raharu and Haruko and all that other bullshit, right? Forget about that. She's intergalactic. She's not for you. Go back and play with your own kind. Therefore, Mamimi, right? There's also, of course, the two cats in the scene, which would be Takun, which was stupid freaking Mamimi's little pet, has found a girlfriend. He's found another partner and run off. Again, this is devastating for Mamimi as well, because, again, we saw the older brother, Tasuku, right? He went off to America. He found a new partner. Cool. He's off, right? We see Takun, right? Naota, right? He's run off. He's found this new partner, this new girl that he really likes in Raharu, right? In Haruko. And now we see the cat run off with its own little friend here as well. Everybody always abandons Mamimi. Never knows best indeed. Yeah, that high school girl seems to be very sad. Go over and give her a little kindness, that kind of thing. Maybe a little sweetness in that regard as well. But again, Mamimi is sour, I always thought. Anyway, weird. We go a little bit more contextual here, like big picture stuff. Hey, it turns out that Haruko was always after Atomisk, and we learn later in the episode that this isn't a person, it's a power. Basically, it's just like mega giga superpowers. I thought this was a guy. I thought it was like a bloke that Haruko liked. As it turns out, not quite. It's a little bit more nebulous than that. Normally they would be enemies, but Atomisk has fell into the hands of Medical Mechanica. So again, this ultimate power has fallen into the hands of the Giga Corporation, right? And Haruko says, don't care, didn't ask, I still just want the power. In that way, she's just so very similar to Medical Mechanica, who is this corporation that she's always been opposed to. So it's like, she's a poser? Kinda. I think that's the vibe we're going for. Yeah, we even explicitly say it there. Haruko is in love with Atomisk. Again, it implies some kind of romantic connection to another person. No, she's in love with power. She lusts for power, right? We pan back to Mamimi here, and it's the start of the pretty obvious metaphor at play here. See, you're at your very loneliest here. Nobody's here with you. You decide to go all the way back to the original Takun and try to call Senpai, even though he's overseas and all that other BS, right? You don't care. You go to call him. Terminal call guy, he goes to eat the phone because he loves to like eat technology and that kind of shit. And hey, I'm gonna let him eat it. I'm gonna instead put all my focus into you instead. I'm gonna leave that old relationship behind. And again, ultimately taking some of this philosophy forward into the very ending, right? Where it's like, hey, shit, what am I doing? Like pausing for a moment. What am I even doing here? And then walking away. That's kind of what she's doing here. And again, hopefully this new photography pursuit is a little bit more, I guess, fruitful and less destructive than whatever the hell this is. But again, she's letting go. And that's again, she's kicking the habit. That's part of the progress for her. Of course, that cigarette smoking now never knows best. We saw it in the very first episode. Yeah, this was a poor decision. You almost led to the destruction of the planet and kind of feeding it stuff, but hey, yeah, I mean, never knows best indeed. I'm addicted to doing this shit. Maybe bringing this full circle, maybe there should be a scene later in the episode where she throws away the cigarettes as well. Maybe, but maybe that would be too obvious as well. Again, continuing to feed it cigarette smoke, your Takun now perpetuating that bad habit. That same smoke is kind of similar to the smoke that's coming out of the iron here. Both are going to end up fueling each other and combining in the very end. Very briefly, we get to see an eyebrowed Naota here. He's just kind of strumming his bass guitar. Kind of sounds like a bass, but it might just be a guitar in general. It's kind of a V shape. Was his guitar always like a V shape? Anyway, he ends up with a different guitar by the very end, is all I'm querying. Is that guitar Haruko's? Anyway, weird. We'll talk about it later. Either way, we basically play off of the manga stuff that happened before. I already spoke about in episode 1 why I think it's cool. It's a really cool callback here. I like the fourth wall meta element of kind of the dad explaining that this kind of stuff is really hard to do and let's go back to the normal anime format. I think that's kind of cool as well. But again, I've already done a lot of that stuff in the first episode. I think pretty notably, pretty early in here, we lose the eyebrows too. So as soon as Haruko's back, those eyebrows are flimsy, much like the seaweed itself, and fall straight off. Apparently she also went to Hawaii and... what? Apparently it was spicy fish eggs or something. Again, attaching Haruko with that spice element. But what? Sure, let's just let Fully Cooley be Fully Cooley. Oh, during this scene as well, it seems like Haruko tries to go straight back to normal and Naota's had enough. He starts to like walk away and just like disregard her. Wait, was this motherfucker jerking off? What was that? I think yeah, this is a cock. What? Okay, sure. He's a weirdo, and they say like the Fully Cooley word here. Also like this frame as well. He looks fucking... stupid as. Also this too, we see like the manga panels like walking away in the background. Fantastic. Like somebody's carrying them away. Yeah, it gives almost a theatrical element to it. Like we were like putting these up to the camera, these like manga panels. Yeah, that's fantastic. What a fun background gag. I missed that on the first time. Then we go full on goofy mode. It's like, what does Fully Cooley even mean? Again, as I said in the reaction, it's a nonsense word that means nonsense and we can just keep saying it and it doesn't mean anything. Right? Much like maybe the show itself. Seems like it means something, but maybe it was all nothing at all. Maybe it never even happened. Everything went back to normal by the very end. Ooh, maybe there's some depth in there too. I don't know. Yeah, again, it's offbeat on purpose, and you find value in that. Again, as we're trying to figure out what Fully Cooley means, we strike his head with the guitar again. Maybe there's something in that. Look at all this fucking sick energy going through it. That's, again, what puts this final component in his head, which is required for the grand combining in the very end. Either way, Naota is left jaded and a little bit cynical from the whole affair and left with a gash on his head. Just wants to separate himself from Haruko, doesn't want to like hurt himself again per se. He gets a little bit more vulnerable here when we go to the bedroom, asks some pretty open questions to Haruko here. Haruko goes straight on the kind of above it all stuff. She never operates to Naoto on a level, right? She's always got this other level to her where she's like talking down to him. Mainly predicated on him like being a child. That's mainly what's going on here. She's an adult. She's at the very least cognitively superior to him. Like she's just operating on a different level and manipulating him and stuff, right? She goes straight back into this mode where it's like lovey-dovey, ooh, teasy and that kind of stuff, right? We bring up a confession here, something that happens by the very end. I love you and the kiss and that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, definitely. So we're left with this guitar by the very end, right? We kind of trade guitars, so to say. Because Naota ends up with two. He ends up with like Atomisk's guitar and his own. He's kind of dual wielding, right? And we end up with this guitar by the very end. Obviously the symbolism here of the two guitars coming together again, laying on top of each other. We're going to be thick as thieves again. Naota saying, are you going to leave again, and that kind of stuff, and promising to him like this kind of, hey, you can come with me and we can leave this place. Again, the start of the episode is all about this malaise over the town. We can escape this malaise, we can be together. Of course, it's an attractive prospect to Naota as well, but again, you know you're still a kid, right? Again, that coming back at the very end. Pretty well-written episode, actually. Very, very cohesive. Again, you're still a kid, this prompting this reaction out of Naota. Grabbing onto her, hugging her close, don't leave again, that kind of stuff. And I feel just a twinge here of Haruko feeling bad about her actions, right? Because she is using Naota here. His brain is the only one that works for doing the components. If I want to get this power, if I want to get Atomisk, right, I have to put him into this situation again and break his heart again. But again, I'm willing to do that to get what I want because I'm in love. Again, mirroring Mamimi in a lot of ways as well. I'm willing to do a lot of things because I'm in love, right? Ninamori, I'm willing to cheat because I'm in love and all these other things. Yeah, pretty fun. But again, just this is enough to like kind of almost redeem Haruko in my eyes. Like, it's a flawed character for sure, and that's what makes it interesting. I recognize what I'm doing is bad, but I have to do it anyway. Again, he's just a kid, I'm an adult, I understand the facts of the world, and I need this power. Yeah, this is a better look at it too, just kind of, I can't let myself get too attached, I can't let my heart get too close to this kid, I can't let myself feel bad for using him, I have to separate myself. Yeah, her kind of wristband thing and it kind of resonating with certain things is interesting this episode as well. Resonating with this power of Atomisk, maybe. It's almost like a dog collar in itself, maybe attaching itself to the Mamimi stuff as well. Maybe. Something in that. This kind of monologue here from Naota is quite effective as well. It's the same one as before, but it ends with, but now Haruko is here, so that's how I know that there really is a world outside. And I'm not just trapped here, because somebody from the outside is here, an alien, an extraterrestrial, demonstrating to me that there is something outside. We see that young Takun here has taken on the role of a puppy dog. Again, there's some kind of contrast between the cat and the dog now. She's kind of moved on from one to the other. Still ultimately a pet, but a different kind of pet. There's some similarities and differences here. I think we end up feeding him a whole bunch of fucking cell phones. Again, this is just desserts for all the kids that bullied you. I think you stole their phones, basically, and I'm feeding them to the dog. Again, metaphorically, you're feeding all of your angst into this thing, and it's growing and growing and growing and becoming this full-on disaster. Not particularly healthy, but maybe a little bit cathartic in the moment. We have a brief musical montage here through the middle of the episode. Naota and Haruko are thick as thieves again. We get some further context here about what's been going on with Naota. Hey, he's not been at school or at home for the last few days. He's just kind of been hanging with Haruko. That's why we see them sleeping on the street later in the episode as well. Specifically here, we have the metaphor of the high jump as well. The bar has been raised another 10 centimeters. There is another target that I have to hit. I'm improving myself and all this kind of stuff, right? The bar gets knocked off when we're talking about Haruko and Naota, right? Okay, they failed. They're not doing the right thing, right? And then we pan over to Ninamori. Her advice for Naota in this situation in particular, and the Mamimi situation, is to talk it out and say what you think and be honest and that kind of stuff, right? Really, really good advice overall. If everybody, Haruko, Naota, and Mamimi were just honest with each other and what they wanted, then I think a lot of the show would be solved, right? But again, that's adolescence. You've gone through this. You've gone through some turmoil and some trouble and some pain in episode 3, and you've learnt from it. I did confess how I felt about Naota, right? In essence, right? I confessed to him that I cheated and all that kind of stuff, and even, the play and everything that went on there. I kind of reconciled my relationship with Naota in a way, but also I reconciled my relationship with my parents. I told them how I felt about the situation, and then I cried and stuff and kind of worked my way through it. And on the other side, I've improved. I'm a better person. Naota hasn't improved. Naota knocked the bar off on the high jump, right? In contrast, Ninamori clears the bar with ease, right? She's way better. She's already improved. She's already gone through the development. Again, the development which Naota and the other main characters must mirror now. Again, this causes me to say that Ninamori is the most well-adjusted out of the rest of the cast, which is crazy. Quick pan back to our Evangelion team here, of course, as well. Terminal Core is missing. We have the rest of the wreckage. We can't find the important part. Can't we rely on Atomisk to save us? He's not one of us. We can't rely on anything like that. And we don't even know where he is. Again, from there we pan over to the actual Terminal Core, living in there somewhere, kind of. Now we go over to Naota and Haruko, kind of went on the bike and went and got some ramen and are just kind of sitting in the kind of afternoon sun eating it, right? She got a really big one that tasted bad, and he got a small one that tasted good. She forces them to swap, which again maybe talks to her selfish desires in all of this as well, also bringing full circle on the whole chopsticks idea as well. But here we get into a little bit of philosophy, right? If you keep doing stuff like this, bad things will happen to you. This is almost very Evangelion as well. Okay, hang on, let me continue. That's okay, I'll just have to let bad things happen to me. Eating bad ramen can be fun too. Yeah, okay. So, Evangelion and its ending, again, oversimplifying it, end of Evangelion, which is a whole can of worms. Essentially, I see it as, okay, I can become part of the larger blob, the conglomerate, where everything is just this kind of base level 7 out of 10 forever, right? Pretty cool, right? But life is about the ups and downs. It's all about the difference in emotions and the high and lows of human existence, right? That's what life is. And this is kind of the same philosophy. Yeah, you can get the same ramen every single time. That'll be pretty good. But sometimes you gotta have the bad stuff too. So again, when the good stuff hits, it really hits too. Take some risks. That's essentially what we're saying here. And I think that it kind of resonates very much so. Again, it seems like something that the creatives here really do believe in. Haruko's kind of honest here as well. We start talking about medical mechanica. Hey, it's, they have something that I want. That's why I want to continue to fight them, I guess. Can you actually fight them? As long as I have you. Again, you're a means to an end. Now, I think we do a lot of the Mamimi just downward spiraling stuff, which makes me feel pretty bad. There's also obviously, again, the dog leash metaphor, which I'll talk about, but this wide shot, very reminiscent of episode 1. Again, I think this scene across the bridge as well, the dog is in very similar position that Naota would have been, right? This is my new Naota, right, that I have by this lead. But eventually, he breaks off of the lead, right? I can't control him anymore. He's no longer cute, and he grows up, right? The same thing happens in a microcosm here. And yeah, for my Mimi, that's the final straw by the very end. She sees that happen one more time and goes, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to walk away from this now. Yeah, I love this whole Tarkun robot metaphor thing going on here. Again, especially how it reflects episode 1. I really do think they made good on the whole Mamimi thing, which I'm happy that they did. I really do appreciate this character. We can't ignore the sound element to it as well. They're still playing the Sammy soundtrack. I believe it's the same one from the first episode as well. Kind of, again, helping the audience to make that connection. Also, yeah, we're continuing our little revenge scheme. Hey, you need to go eat the bike of the guy that fucking splashed me earlier. Okay, I'm gonna eat whatever you tell me to eat. Again, the placement in the scene, right there in the middle, all this kind of technology above them, all these things that he can eat, still smoking the entire time. Again, loneliness personified, I would say. More focus on the lead, losing control on the lead, just chef's kiss. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Another very important scene here. Absolutely love this one. We have the morning comes again. It's a hazy day. It probably reminds me a little bit of Tokyo and kind of this skyline shot back here as well. Just kind of, regular everyday stuff. Everyday Joe's going to work. Cold, morning, pretty dour, that kind of vibe, right? This is society normally, right? This is people going to work and that kind of stuff. Build some immediate contrast between them and what these two losers are doing over here. Everybody else is up and ready to go into work. You two are sleeping out on the street, still asleep at this time of morning, right? Again, does this look glamorous? Does this look like the good life? Not really, dog. Not really. Homelessness is pretty bad. Going out on a limb there, I know. And Ninamori sees this. She's like, huh. Okay, I'm just going to go back, turn right back around and go back to society. This does not look glamorous to me at all whatsoever. Good character. Good job. Specifically this shot here as well, we have the people walking this way, right? And us staying stationary. We think we're these revolutionaries going off out on a limb, right? But in reality, maybe this is what faces us if we make the decisions that we make, right? Seems pretty self-destructive, is all I'm going to say. We also have the kind of crowd moving that way, right? And then we pan over here to Mamimi moving the opposite direction. So again, contrast again, we have the stationary kind of duo there. We have society moving this direction, and then we have the destructive one, Mamimi, moving in the other direction in the frame as well. Awesome. Very, very good. The lack of sleep as well. Like, everybody else slept that morning, right? You didn't. You stayed awake all night to get your revenge. Finally, here we have the episode reaching its climax, so to say, where we have the robot losing control, right? Or Mamimi losing control over Tarkun, right? They're not on the revenge list. I'm still holding onto the lead. Obviously, that's not going to work the way I think it's going to work anymore. The dog itself, it's too powerful for me, and it's going on a rampage. Specifically here, we're focusing on the new Volkswagen as well. I wonder if they got clearance for that. Weird. The new teacher, the new car that the teacher got, Miyajun, right? Again, mood, you have to deal with Kamon, who's just this absolute loser that goes off on weird tangents about anime constantly. I think this ends up being a Hamtaro thing by the very end, which is fine. But again, you're interviewing him, well, not interviewing him, you're asking where the fuck the kid's gone. You didn't even know where your kid is? He needs to go to school, dog. And again, you're just frustrated at this whole thing. Again, you're pretty lazy when it comes to this kind of stuff. Unlike a hamster, he can take care of himself. Dog, he's a 12-year-old kid. I don't know if he can. Also, he's obviously got a pretty bad influence around him at the moment. Immediate contrast, or maybe similarities being drawn between Kamon and Amurao here as well. He's being creepy with his assistant. He's like, tell me what you do on your days off. And he tries to like hold her hand. It's like, don't fucking touch me. It's like the secondhand kiss thing from early in the episode. She's clearly not into it. Right? Clearly. And again, you're into her, and then she's into fucking Kanti? Yo, there's levels to this shit. And Kanti's also a Thomisk? Yo. Sick. Either way, we go very quickly from him being a creep to the action scene starting. There's a huge terminal core guy. Turns out we fucked up. Things happen very quickly here. Turns out that the terminal core was also Takun, which I think is also a little metaphor there. Takun, terminal core. You kind of see what's going on there. Kanti's here. Kanti, who was missing up to this point, is now a crossing guard? Like, what? Why? It's just such a random scene. And then again, he's technology. He gets sucked up into the thing as well. Obviously, the first creation of Naota as well. Very important to the process and that kind of thing, right? Whatever medical mechanica is trying to do. Specifically here, that symbol on the face, and then these brain-like wings coming out of his back. Again, the wings attaching themselves to this bird-like creature by the very end as well. And there we see it. It kind of, you're part of the terminal core, drawn in, makes this mouth for the creature, and now we're on, right? Big Godzilla vibes with that previous shot as well. And yeah, comes through and smashes the new car. Again, reflecting episode 3. Haruko and Naota spring into action here. It's time for you to save the day, so to say, or for you to execute on your final element of the plan. And yeah, it's the climax. Again, I think I talked about this in the reaction, I think there's some element of like this very rote damsel in distress story, and okay, it's time to execute the climax and that kind of thing, but obviously there being levels to this plan above that. I think that's very purposeful as well, obviously subverting the general narrative structure that would come from this kind of setup, right? Mamimi is the damsel in distress. It's been indicated that we should go towards her in the rest of the text of the episode. The episode ending with her and Naota separating for good is subversive. I really like that. We head here towards our climactic scene. This is very awesome. It's kind of the showdown between Haruko and Amurao, right? The final element is in Naota's head, right? You can either go with her, even though you know you're being used, and be used in this process, or you can come with me and live a normal life and have a normal job and be self-serious and all these kind of things, right? All these things, be bitter instead of spicy. That kind of vibe, right? All these things that you wanted to be from the very start. Again, you're obsessed with cool. This is cool, right? This is an element of cool. But what is cool? What is cool to a 12-year-old? I don't know. Again, yeah, really love the framing here. This shot's amazing. Love it, love it, love it. The focus there too. Why did you take off those eyebrows? You're being manipulated by her. You want to help everybody. You want to save the planet, right? Then hey, come with me. Forsake her. But he can't. He's still in love, you know? And especially be adult, be normal, all these things, right? No. I still don't choose that. I don't want to be normal. I don't want to be an adult. I don't want to be all these things that I've been posing as. I still want something that Haruko represents. But again, I claim the power in the end. I'm not being used by her. I'm taking elements from her and using them on myself. This is kind of saving the world on his own terms. Again, his punishment for it is that he loses the girl that he loves, right? And kind of everything goes back to normal. But I think the important part, he did it on his terms. Something you couldn't do. Again, you're being manipulated, right? You're in essence being manipulated as well, kind of dragged along by the power of a Thomisk, right? You're another cog in Medical Mechanica's plans. You buck the trend. You're not a cog in anybody's plans anymore. You're your own man. And that's what being an adult's all about. This ending is low-key brilliant. It's very, very good. I'm kind of rambling about it, and I kind of need to finish the video sooner rather than later. So again, the rest of this is mainly really good animation. I've kind of gotten to the essence of the themes, I guess, here, and what it means for Naota to kind of claim this as his own. How much pain must you go through before you realize? But still, this is very similar to the shot of him on the bed as well. He still goes back to her, right? And explicitly her, not to be crude, her breasts, right? He's into her, he finds the prospect attractive. He's a 12-year-old boy. And again, here's the final forsaking, right? We take him from kind of that cuddling position, hit him with the guitar over so he can be eaten. We essentially sacrifice him for the power that he will give me. From there, we go full-on fucking Evangelion mode, crazy fucking symbols and flesh shit. The gears start to turn, we start to become enlightened. This is what Medical Mechanica wants. They're flattening planets all over the galaxy. Ours was the next one. That was the iron so they could do it. They just needed the hand to make the thing do the thing. You essentially destroyed the planet. That's what you did. Even the Pirate King has been captured. It's all over. That galaxy zooms out. Every planet's flat. I don't care. I told you that I don't care. All I want is the power. Again, does this look like our hero? Well, that's really cool too. So, I don't care about this planet. What's the planet been associated with? Naota's brain and smoothing it, right? And becoming dumb and becoming mindless, right? I don't care about the planet. I don't care about Naota. I just want a Atomisk. And again, that kind of connection there. That's very cool. Also, this hand here, I don't know how the fuck they animated it, but it looks awesome. There's some Sandman type shit. So yeah, from here it looks like all hope is lost, and that we've grasped the iron and the planet's going to be smoothed. But no, there is but one being holding it back. This Kanti, this combination of Kanti and Naota, and him climbing out, right? This kind of big energy being. Very, very Mob Psycho 100, if you know, you know. And again, the kid, he has been piratized. He has his own guitar. He has Atomisk's guitar. He's become God. He's taken forth the power. He acquired the Pirate King's powers, and he's taken it for himself. He blasts away that big hand in an instant. He flings Mamimi into the air, and your fucking hand bangle resonates the most it's resonated. Finally, the thing that I wanted, it's right in front of me, and somebody else has claimed it. And in the episode here with a climactic fight between Haruko and Naota, which is something I didn't expect from the very start of the show. And yeah, the action animation here is top-notch, of course. Again, if you're an animation snob, you can go to the animation snob people. I just think it looks cool. That's about the length of my analysis there. It kind of combines both guitars here into like a guitar with kind of two ends on it. I don't know, like kind of double guitar thing. And yeah, it looks like he's gearing up for this final blast, this final attack, right? And it ends up being an attack of a different kind. An attack on the emotions, a confession, along with a kiss. And that being the thing to propel everything forward, right? Bringing forth love instead of conflict too. Something in that. Again, talks to the complicated relationship between Haruko and Naota. From there, the final kind of element erupts from his head. It is Atomisk itself. It is this giant bird deity. And it's really cool looking. It's, again, there's been lots and lots of gods in history that have been associated with birds as well. I love the giant wide-spanning wings here. Love the color scheme. Loving the red as well. The color analysis chads, I'm sharing it to you guys. The red here signifying a little bit more power in this sense, right? It starts to suck up the technology, suck up the town itself in a lot of ways. This impending disaster. Yeah, like definitely like Ra vibes. And oh yeah, out of the head we have the other kind of element of the collar kind of resonating, right? It's almost like it's, you know, those little things you put around birds' legs, that little, like, tag on them? It's kind of like that on her hand, so maybe that's another bird association. This here specifically is the NO itself. It's carrying the iron and taking it away. It doesn't want this planet anymore. It's saved the planet, the power of the Pirate King. Yeah, sucks that hand in, takes the iron, saves the day, becomes an fucking angel. The music's fucking blaring. And yeah, goes off to somewhere else. Fucking intergalactically travels into space. Goodbye. I guess it didn't take the iron with it. The iron's still kind of tilted in the ground there at the very end. True. Good point. Again, the grand contrast here between the reds and the blues. Everything's back to normal. And your thing, it's resonating into the sky, into the sun. You've lost it once again. You need to go somewhere else to regain that power. You seem pretty jolly about it. I lost him again because of you, Takun. Do you want to come with me? This kind of moped going off into the sky, the Vespa in space, as we see by the very end. Kind of in a half-joking manner, in a sarcastic manner, maybe wanting to damage him once and for all, right, for what he took from you. No, you can't come with me. I know you like me. You can't have me. I'm off into space. You're just a kid. You can't be with me. And there she goes, off into space, back to her fucking home planet, never to be seen again. And here we have it. She's left her guitar behind. So she took the Thomas guitar that was like the two of them, right? But they've kind of traded guitars. Maybe the indicator by the very end when it kind of strums is that she will be back in some form at some point. Maybe that's the tease for future stuff that does end up happening. And this is the further significance, right? So, okay, this is the big important scene for Mamimi. I've kind of been explaining it already, but one final time, she took in Takun this episode, right? It ended in disaster. She originally liked Tasaku. That ended in disaster for her. She liked Naota. Naota is left here in the wreckage, still holding on to Haruko's guitar. He clearly still doesn't like me. He's clearly still focused on something else and being his own guy. Where does that leave me? I'm in the destruction here. I'm in no man's land. What am I going to do? Again, that's him over there. This is me down here. This is that moment of realization, right? Narrow the eyes a little bit, lock the fuck in, take that one photo, that one memento left, and go somewhere else. Love it as an ending for her. Very, very cool. Specifically, Mamimi also said Sayonara Naota-kun. Instead of Takun, no more pet names, no more comparisons between Naota and his brother. I'm off. I'm done with this shit. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Obviously, we're playing off the first episode here with this new scene with Ninamori as well. She's sipping on that drink. We're doing the whole carbonated sour drink, whatever stuff again. We're connecting these two romantically in the same way that Mamimi and Naota were connected romantically in the first episode. Again, that secondhand kiss. I can't drink it, it's too carbonated. I can't drink it, it's too sour. Nah, you just don't want to share that secondhand kiss. You're a little bit embarrassed about it. Love it. Ending that episode here with that same kind of monologue, right? Nothing ever happens here. Only the ordinary. We crossed the bridge as normal. Before we knew it, the seasons had changed. Mamimi had left town. She said she wanted to be a photographer. Oh, did she win a prize for this? That's why it's in a cameraman magazine? True. Okay, sure. I don't know what happened to her after that. Both Mamimi, I don't know what happened to Haruko either, because we're focusing on her guitar. But again, this one ghostly strum right there, maybe something will actually happen in the future with regards to that. And with that, we'll finish off fully coolly. Yeah, really, really, really enjoyed that last episode here today. Really, really quite a bit. More than I did on the first watch. I really liked going back through there and seeing what I saw. Yeah, this show's really cool. This show's really, really cool. And again, I'm only seeing a surface level. I've only seen it once. I'm sure all you rewatching nerds can speak to it on a little bit of a higher level. I love kind of a lot of the elements of this episode. I love how climactic it felt. It felt very Evangelion in a way that I felt was really cool. I love Mamimi this episode. I think them finishing off her arc like that, putting a bow on it, it's chef's kiss. It's just awesome. Haruko's kind of heel turn, I guess you could call it, in the last two episodes here has been quite interesting as well. And Naota's progression and his ultimate decision there to use the power the way he uses it is very fascinating. I like him as a character as well. I think they've made good on all they promised. This show's good. It's very good. I would recommend it to basically anybody. Yeah, offbeat. Very 90s, but ultimately something that I resonated with, and I think that's quite powerful. Again, we'll leave it there. I'm open to talk about the show more if people want to talk about the show with me more, both on Discord and in the YouTube comments section, of course. Either way, we're moving on to something new next week. We're not going to do any more Fully Cooley unless there's a huge pushback to the point where I need to do some other element of Fully Cooley. I don't even know what that would be, but maybe. Instead, we're moving on to a different show. Haibane Renmei, of course. So that'll be out next week, obviously early on Patreon if you guys wanted to get in on that action. If you guys want to tell me anything about the show that I need to know with regards to subbing or anything else with the files that I'm going to gather, please let me know. Either way, next week will be next week, and we're closing the loop on Fully Cooley here today. Thanks for watching. It's been really awesome. Like and subscribe. Keep an eye on future stuff on the channel, of course, and happy to have you along for the ride. Yeah, I'll see you guys later at some point. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.